All right, back to our lead story. The Dallas Police Department has been recognized as a national leader in community policing. When Chief David Brown took office in 2010, he implemented a series of reforms meant to improve relations between the force and the people who they protect. John Matthews is an assistant chief constable for Dallas County, and he joins us now. John, thank you so much for joining us. First and foremost, condolences to all the victims there in Dallas, and of course, we are thinking about the men and women who are healing at this time. My first question to you is, for a number of reasons, why was it such a surprise, this style of attack on Dallas, when in fact, really, it's become a model of peace, if you will? The Dallas Morning News saying that complaints of excessive force dropped 64% between 2009 and 2014.
Yeah, Dallas has done a wonderful job of connecting with the community, of de-escalating potentially violent situations, and under Chief Brown's leadership, implementing many new community policing initiatives. I think the attack we'll find out for sure as the investigation goes on, but this might have been one of those crimes of opportunity, and we've seen it in mass shootings in the past, where these offenders have targeted a movie theater where there's going to be a lot of people, a church or a nightclub, and this offender might have said this is his opportunity to make national news, to make headlines, and to get his word out. He might have seen that he was in the area, there was going to be a protest, and this is had a huge pool of soft targets, which were officers that were protecting those protesters, watching the protesters and not realizing they were the targets.
You talked a little bit about community policing right off the top there, and in fact we just listened to about an hour of the President speak, and in fact he mentioned the Dallas efforts for community policing, and in fact you were directly involved in that. Explain to us what efforts have transpired over the past decade.
Yes, ma'am. I was very fortunate to have started the original community policing program back in the 90s to work with the Department of Justice and to implement it throughout the agency. And I think the Chief has done a great job of expanding and promoting that initiative, building bridges with the community, reaching out to them and letting them know we're all in it together. You know, we have a finite number of officers on the street protecting a community of 1 million people here in Dallas. We can't do it alone, and so we realized a long time ago that we had to partner with our faith-based organizations and with the different groups represented all throughout the city of Dallas if we were going to keep the citizens safe and secure. We need their information, we need their knowledge, and we need to sit down and work on their concerns and issues. We all want this community to be a safe place for us and for our families.
You talk about all the efforts that you've put in over the past decade and how you've been such a leader in all this. How do you continue to carry the torch when perhaps it's fairly defeating when you see an attack of this nature?
Well, I think what you have to do is you have to look at the positive side of this, and you have to say we're not going to let this get us down. You know, the officers don't do that. The very next day and all throughout the night after the shooting, they were out there protecting the citizens. They were saying that's our job and what we need to do. I think moving forward as a department, not only in Dallas but all through the country, we've got to reconnect with our citizens. We've got to make sure that that our actions follow our words, that we're joining with those community members, that we're building those bridges, that we're truly listening to their concerns and addressing them so that both sides see this is a win-win for both of us. So I hope it makes us even more determined to move forward in the future.
What's the takeaway from Thursday night? I had listened to some of your interviews previously, and you said one of the takeaways is situational awareness. Why was Thursday night such an anomaly in that instance?
Well, because we're the protectors of society, quite frankly, and we were guarding the citizens. We were making sure there was a peaceful demonstration, and all of a sudden, because of a madman, we became the victims. We became the targets. And that's, you know, in law enforcement, there's always an inherent danger, but I think we know across the country now that ambush attacks are up, attacks on officers are up over the last several years, and we've got to be even more aware going forward of our safety. If we're going to protect the citizens, we've got to be safe, and we've got to be able to make it home at night. Well,
John Matthews, I certainly wish that we had more time. You said there's always an inherent danger, and that's why law enforcement, including yourself, are such heroes. So thank you so much, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.